Okay, so I'm gonna tell you guys the stories of my tattoos. For those of you who are weird and don't know what a tat is. Okay, so this was my first tattoo without this stuff. Okay. Oh my god, my fingers. Okay, just the SSB. Okay. So I don't tell many people what the SSB stands for, but it stands for sister, sister, brother, and it has nothing. Okay, one of my sisters, I have three, and a friend of ours, Billy, he's the brother, and we ran away when I was in ninth grade, and they were juniors, and my sister was like, "Hey, I'm running away today with this kid Billy. You can come with us, or you can stay here." And my mom would have been super stressed out, and it was not a good idea to be home while she was super stressed out. So I chose to go. And we were riding around on Greyhound buses. We kept taking Greyhound buses. And in the only place that three people can sit in a row is in the back, next to the bathroom. There's 3 seats all the way in the back seat. And so I kept sitting in the middle, and we were joking about how if we were Siamese twins, the three of us, attached at the wrist and the ankles, all the ways they would torture me, like, let me eat, whatever. So, sister, sister, brother. And so we all said we were going to get the tattoo. So I got mine first. I was 15 or 16. I got it done in some kid's basement. Some kid I didn't know. And it was 3 needles melted into the end of a pen. And he was dipping it in Indian ink. I was watching Pink Floyd The Wall. I may or may not have eaten 10 tiny pieces of paper, which I did a lot back then. And just pick for 2 hours and 45 minutes it took to get the SSB. I just remember the hammers marching. If you ever watched Pink Floyd The Wall, the hammers marching towards the end, that's, oh my god, like, stop. So I had never had a tattoo gun yet I used on me. I just the okay. So that was when I was 15. So now I'm like 16 or 17, and I have this beautiful necklace that from Joe, who my mom dated this philosopher. He was a worldwide known philosopher, Joseph Grange. If you look him up, Joseph Grange, philosopher. He was a professor of philosophy at the University of Southern Maine, and he was the president of the Metaphysical Society. I think that's it. Of 08. He was if you Google him, you'll see like papers. He wrote a lot of books. He was very influential in Western philosophy. And he used to, anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. He used to lecture at schools in China, which is Eastern philosophy, and teach them about Western philosophy. And he loved the, I guess, comparisons or whatever. Anyway, so he had sent me this necklace from Ireland, but it was way too long. And I was skinny mini at the time. I was like 90 pounds soaking wet. So I was using it as a belly chain. And I took a piggyback from my friend. And when I did, my back stretched out and the chain snapped off. And I picked it up and I was like, oh, okay, well, I can't put this back on. Like, I don't want to lose it. Like, it's from Joe. I said, but you know what I want to do? I'm going to get a belly chain that won't break. So I had my boyfriend call his tattoo artist. And I was like, can you make me a feminine tribal belly chain tattoo, but I want it to be your artwork. I want it to be original. And he said, yeah, no problem. So I'm hanging out with my friend. I used to call him Bobbert. He hated that. His name was Bob. Bobbert. Anyway. And he goes, it should say Mommy's Little Monster on the back. And at that time, I had just recently shaved my head for other reasons we may talk about at another time. I had just shaved my head, and my hair was growing back, and I dyed it electric blue. And he said it should say Mommy's Little Monster, which is a Social Distortion song. If you don't know Social Distortion, you don't know punk, you don't know good music. Anyway, so Mommy's Little Monster, and one of the lines in the song, he says, her eyes are a deeper blue. She likes her hair that color too. She can even wear a dress, but that doesn't mean she'll ever confess. She's Mommy's Little Monster. She's not afraid to admit she's Mommy's Little Monster. Don't wake her in a fit. So he drew the tattoo up. And I went the next morning and I got it. Okay, so here's the tattoo. So when I get there, there's all this like strewn out paper all over the place, all this stencil paper of all his ideas and designs because he's creating his own thing. And on the top of the trash can, I see this. It was just this part. And it has an eye with the tear. There's an eye with the tear. And I was like, I need that. I have to have that. And so he picked it up off the trash can and he made it part of my tattoo. And, okay. So there's this tattoo. And on the back, it's been touched up a few times. It says Mommy's Little Monster. Okay. So then I became friends with that tattoo artist. And we hung out a lot. And I got tattooed a lot. And he'd be like, what do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? I don't know. Do you want a tattoo? So I started doing body jewelry. So we turned this into an armband. But I said I wanted it to go all the way around. But then he got to here. Oh my God, they had to hold my arm back and he was tattooing my armpit. You know how painful that is? I was like, no, you don't need to finish. It's fine. Don't finish. Ouch. And like, who am I tat? You know what I mean? Okay, and then I got a bracelet. So the bracelet matches the belly chain. Oh, wait. Nah. Okay, wait. I got an anklet. The anklet, it has the eye with the tear and the eye with the tear. Okay, and the whole thing about the eye with the tear is that I felt like the eye with the tear was me showing the pain that I don't show. I don't show pain. I don't show weakness. This is my way of doing that. Anyway, so then I got, okay, so I'm a Leo. That's another long story. Remind me to tell you the unbirthday story. My mom got my birthday wrong. I found out my real birthday when I was 14. Turns out I'm a Leo, not a Cancer. So I got that. Okay. I got flowers on my hip. Ready? Beautiful flowers. Okay. And then, okay, so I had a tattoo studio almost across the street from my house. My son was like 13, and I went out one day to go get cigarettes. My fiance was still alive at the time, Tommy. And I came back like 2 hours later, and my son was like, what took you so long? That took me so long. Now, I thought this was a Tupac quote, but it's actually my quote inspired by Tupac because I fucked it up a little. But this says, reality isn't real. Dreams are. Oh, and this one says BBS. That was Isaiah's idea, my oldest son, for brother, brother, sister, because I have 2 boys and a girl, and I got it over my heart. And then when my fiance died 4 years ago, I got this. It says lover, and he was a combat vet, so it's the army. And now I'm moving to Houston. I'm leaving Boston, so I wanted like a Boston goodbye tattoo. This is my last tattoo so far. So I'm obsessed with the Boston Bruins. So I got the Boston Bruins claw, but I didn't want to do the boring Boston Bruins B in the middle. So I found a B, and it's a B, and it's a heart. Okay, don't worry about the scratches. There's been a lot going on this week. But it's a B with the heart behind it. And that's my way of saying Boston will always have a piece of my heart. There's one more tattoo. Maybe we'll talk about that one another time. It's my tattoo stories. Kinda.